And yes, so I'm very grateful for all joining. Please share in the comments whatever you feel like, play along with us. And I'm very grateful that that Joe has accepted to join me here today. So I'll give you the mic, Joe.
Thanks very much, Anna. It's nice to meet you, and it's nice to be here. And hello to everybody who's watching. I hope you're all keeping well in these very peculiar times that we're living in.
Yes, 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 and these things that happen when uh, we are doing something and then something, let's say, goes wrong, and that's really every time this happens with me, I'm like, okay, so uh, this is a good opportunity for me to test how I'm facing the unpredictable things that came to my life. How do you feel about that? And how do you?
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I used to be, I would be really concerned about this, that it wasn't going perfectly. And, my stomach would tighten and my head would tighten and all my muscles would tighten. And I'd be in a sort of state of egomania, really, and I'm worried about things. But now I don't care anymore. I just sort of accept the way that it is and just try and enjoy myself. So
Yes,
I'm the same as you. I'm learning to be much less emotionally reactive and just accepting of what's actually happening in front of me now.
yes, yes. And I don't know, how do you usually when we start these conversations, I ask to the person that is with me if you would like to share some quick practice that you do to bring yourself back to presence, or to feel more heart expanded before you do something, and I don't know.
Yeah, certainly. Because I've got a PhD in medicine, and what that means is I spent 7 years analyzing the way the heart works under certain conditions of mind. So when people are stressed, the heart works in a different way. And when people are relaxed, it works in a different way as well. So what I found was that if we simply just place our hands on our heart, and I do this with children as well, a bit like the dove of peace. So we take the dove of peace, just place it onto our chest. Yep, yep. Place it onto our chest. Just press a bit so we can feel the pressure of the dove nesting in our chest, right? And then simply just imagine a nice, beautiful feeling that's emanating from this dove of peace. So it's almost like a peaceful, gentle, caring feeling. And we breathe that feeling into the heart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop. So let's just do that for a few seconds. So just feel the pressure on your chest. Bring in a nice, peaceful, gentle, healing type feeling. Breathe gently all the way in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop. And out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop. And as you breathe out, just imagine that you're letting go of all the stress and tension, all the build up of emotion inside of you. Just allow it to go back out through your heart and back to the universe, back to the cosmos, as you sink deeper and deeper into a beautiful state of peace and tranquility and inner joy and contentment and silence, all the way in. Collect all the stress and tension and then breathe it all the way out. So let's just do that for another minute. Gently breathe this peaceful feeling all the way in. Collect all the stress and tension and just breathe it back all the way out and sink deeper and deeper and deeper into a beautiful state of peace and quiet and calm and joy. There we are, Anna. How's that?
That is amazing. Grateful. Thank you so much.
And that was the basis. I found out after doing thousands and thousands of ECGs, EKGs on the heart, analyzing what people were thinking about and watching the way that the heart works. And we came to a point where it was the simplest of simple things to do is just change the way that you're breathing, change the way that you're feeling, and then just breathe that in and out. Now, if people do that simple technique 3 times for 10 minutes a day, I swear to them that their life will get better beyond their wildest dreams because they'll be reconnected with their essential self. Sometimes that's called the I am self. This is who we really are, and this is made up. So really, we've got to take our head off, throw it away, and just basically work from here, because that's who we are. That's how we're all connected at the level of spirit. And this is just the trickster most of the time. This is where all the worry and the neurosis and the anxiety and the fear live, between these two things here. And this is the solution to all the problems that you could possibly have. So rather than looking outwards for answers and asking external experts and buying all sorts of books and videos and all that sort of business, sometimes you can just go here and just say to your heart and soul, I'm in a bit of trouble here. I wonder if you could give me some inspiration and guidance to help me get out of it, and then wait for the answer. How does that sound?
That sounds perfect to me, and that's what I'm feeling the call each day more. That yeah, I, living moment by moment and asking, as you say, asking inside, and then the answer comes when we need exactly at that point what we feel that is more appropriated in that moment, because actually there is no, that's what I'm feeling even each day more, that there is no right or wrong answer, there is the perfect answer, let's say, for that moment.
Yeah, I agree entirely, because today we may need to go forward, but in the same situation tomorrow we may need to go backwards. So you're quite right. You can't expect and you can't have a plan, because if we're being guided, and I say by the Holy Spirit, you know,
Yes.
Espirito Santo, maybe, right?
Yes, yes,
Anna Isabel, Espirito Santo, right?
yes,
I think, oh, I've got a big thing going up my spine now as I say that. I'm not a religious person anymore. I don't follow any religion other than this feeling that comes up out inside of me and outside. That's all I follow now. I used to be very, very Catholic, and I'm not anymore. I've parked all that now, because a lot of the teachings were beautiful, but a lot of the way that it was put across, it wasn't put across in a very um, compassionate way, let's say. It was very, very strict and very, very rigid. And so I've got rid of all that now, and I just follow this guidance from inside myself. And I believe that that's the Holy Spirit, or some people might call that the grace of God. It sounds religious, but I'm not religious. The evolutionary impulse, or it could be the I am presence. It doesn't matter what you call it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't care, right? As long as you feel it and not label it.
yes, yes. That's why right now I'm feeling the call to, because words, I have been calling this subject of words many times in these conversations, because words each word has a different meaning to each person because we have a story attached to each word in a sense. So even if we are using the same words, that means something slightly different for each one of us because we are unique, each and every one of us. So sometimes now I'm doing dancing meditations and the last ones I've been doing chanting and weaving because I feel the information goes in a better, more pure, let's say, way than if I say a lot of words that for me may have some meaning, but for someone else they will have a slightly different meaning. So I know you do like the dragon language sometimes. Yes.
Yeah, I do. I mean, light language, it used to be called talking in tongues, and the apostles, Jesus' apostles, they had this gift of talking in tongues, and that means that they could go out and spread the message, but the words weren't important. It was the intention and the feeling and the tones that came out. So it was actually the vibration of what was coming out of them that impacted upon the person's heart, that helped to awaken them. That's the way I believe it. And sometimes sometimes that just comes out, right? And I just let it come out now. But sometimes it comes out when I'm doing my academic lectures, and it can be very, very confusing for some of the students, and I don't care anymore because I used to try and block this. And when the dragon thing came out, that gave me a shock, really. But that comes when it feels like coming, really. And I think that I'm able to, or I've been given the ability to tone from that really deep from tone from that low level. I think that sometimes penetrates into people's root chakras, and it sort of jiggles about all the stuff that's been bothering them, and then they can express it then by being open. It's a bit like a confessional. When you go and see the priest and you say, all this stuff's come up, I'd like to share it and get it off my chest. I think that's what's happening now across the globe. There are so many different frequencies impacting upon people's chakras that it's causing them emotional disturbance, which is a very positive thing if they know what to do next. If they don't know what to do next, it will cause them consternation, worry, concern, and pain. So this is what people, in my opinion, need to do next. They need to find a trusted friend, and they need to just get it off their chest and say, look, these things are bothering me. Or I've just remembered an occasion when I was young where I was hurt, or I hurt somebody else. So this whole process now is one of being honest, getting it off our chests and out of our systems, sharing it with another living human being, because that's part of humility. We sort of have to be humiliated before humility comes in. And in order to do that and to show spirit that you're willing to go to any lengths, you have to share all your misdeeds from as far back as you remember with another living person who you can trust. It's best not to do it on Facebook Live. you know, the best way to do it is find an honest, true friend who's been through the process and say, look, I've remembered when I stole some money. I've remembered when I was violent towards somebody. I remembered when I was gossip. It's really to get this off our chest, because anything that was not in line with the correct action will be still buried in our psychology. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. But for me, right now is more even the concept of I did this, it was wrong. Maybe at that moment it was what was needed. Also, uh, how I know that maybe you know what I mean. It's like all the time the universe is always working for the best outcome, and we have been living in this duality. So there is the need of this. There has been since ages the need of this counterpoint of something and the opposite. And so even if you steal someone, or if you are violent, or maybe in that moment that was what came out, and it's more like just facing but not judging, or just seeing, yes, what was
Yeah,
there.
no, not a judgment,
Yes,
just an observation of maybe I could have done better.
yes,
Maybe I could have done better. So
yes,
I think if you think of a situation from the past and it brings with it emotional disturbance, it's definitely something to talk to about with somebody,
yes,
because and they, if they understand, not like a priest in the UK, what they do is they give you all sorts of prayers to say and they tell you you've been a bad person. I'm not talking about that. No judgment. It's just, okay, let's relive the situation and see if we can't act now to correct of the past. And that's what frees us, because not only do we learn, but all the energy that's being kept to keep that secret is then released, comes back online, and then we become more empowered then because we've been honest and truthful.
yes,
And that's what I feel. No, Anna, it's not about judgment, it's about observation,
yes,
witnessing, and just realignment with the correct action, if you like.
yes. And do you think what I feel about, because I did this experience myself, about when you come back to a past situation, if you shift your perspective, then actually you are changing the past,
Absolutely.
and
Oh,
you can come back there and speak with yourself at that time, and speak with the other person at that time, and then something shifts.
I agree entirely. I think we can call that a timeline shift, or it doesn't really matter what we call it, because we can't go back and change the actuality of the past, but we can change the memory of the past, which will change who we are now. I think that's what it's about. Is we're going into the underworld, or stuff that we've been denying and keeping buried. We get to a point where we become strong enough, where we're willing now to turn around and go and face all those things and help us in this present moment. I think that, so it's a realignment and it's a refinement, because every time we do that and we get more energy, we're able to tune in more and more to this cosmic understanding of what this is all about, you know. And as you say, it's not about being good or bad. It's just that at the time, we took the action that we could only have taken because we only had the information available to us at the time to do that. You know,
Yes.
this is quite serious. This normally I tell jokes and we have a laugh, but this is quite deep. It's deep stuff,
Yes.
and I think that your listeners and watchers, it may resonate with them. That if they want to clean their act up, to stop looking out that way and start looking in this way here.
Yes. I would like to see the comments, just to acknowledge who is comment. Barbara Hake, she says hi Anna, and a lot of kisses and a flower. Grateful, Barbara. And Lynn Mary says share it with my care beers. Beers. Thank
Yeah,
you, Lynn
Buzz.
Mary. Bears. And Anna, you have Dr. Joe on. She says yes. Observed intention, says Lynn Mary. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and that is such a relief when we are able to have this, as you said, this bigger picture, and it's not like you are excusing yourself for what you have done, or you just know that it was what it was, and that you did your best. Yes, and maybe next time you will do differently, but one never knows. That's something that I'm always sometimes my mind starts thinking about it, and I say, like, because right now I feel that I love every human being, and but sometimes I say, but if someone is hurting someone in front of you, if someone is doing really terrible, let's say, label a terrible thing, what will I do? And then I say to my mind, forget about it. When the moment comes, you ask in your heart. But it's not easy. Sometimes we wonder about. I wonder about that.
No, no, I do too. And, sometimes my mind will go off and say, well, if this do this, but we can't say that, because in that situation, right, if we're being guided by spirit, right, and we can feel the difference. I can feel the difference between when my ego's in and when my spirit's in. It's, call it discernment if you like. But when I was ill, and I was ill for a long, long time, I was just like a head on a stick. I had completely lost connection with my body and my body's feelings, because I was either so drunk or so anesthetized with all sorts of tablets and things like that, that I couldn't really listen to the ancient wisdom that was coming from my body. So everything was head dominated. And what I've learned over the years in getting better and recovering from all these problems I had was the most important thing. And this, one of your guests that was on last week, I think, said the same thing, is to become intimately and intricately connected with how your body is responding to the situation. Because we take information in, as you know, through our 5 senses, and then it's processed, and it will generate a feeling depending upon how it's been processed. So if it's a tension, then it's fear processing. But if it's open and flowing, then that's spirit processed, you see, or soul or joy processed. So I'm quite tuned in now to how my body's feeling. And when I'm speaking, I'm sort of listening with my left ear to my heart and just trying to go with the feelings of openness and flowiness. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yes. And I'm always trying to do the same. And for me, it's like you talked about the dove, and I see the dove flying. So every time I will see a dove, now I will remember your quick balancing breathing, and I do also connecting with feeling my feet on the ground, and grounding, connecting with the planet. And when, yes, when I'm getting stressed, like the other day, I was stressed about my cat because she was sick, and then I was all over the place. Suddenly, I stepped a little bit aside from myself, and I said, "You are completely out of us. So stop, breathe, feel your feet." And then it comes this feeling, and I have to do this, or I'm going to do this right now, and it's amazing that someone that will listen to this, that this may be of help, because it's really, for me, it's the gold, in a sense, at every moment.
No, I agree. I like inner sense because it's innocent, right? And
Yes.
it's an inner sense, right? And I think that that's what happened is my senses were pointing outwards, and now most of the time they're pointing inwards, or the processing of this information. But what you said is, I think that that's all we can do is to start to realize when we're off kilter or out of alignment, to take a step back like you did, to return to being centered and grounded at the same time, and then ask the question again, please show me what to do.
Yeah.
Now for people who don't maybe they don't believe in the spirituality side of things, it could be called emotional intelligence. And sometimes when I'm talking to various groups of people, Sometimes I won't mention spirit. I'll just talk about emotional intelligence because they couldn't handle the spirits. So I have to feel my way through what the audience is and where their level of cognitive understanding is, or the way they process information with words. I'm fortunate in that I can sort of use like medical and academic words for some groups, and then I can use ordinary words, for other groups as well. So that's an ability that's been given me, and I'm trying to improve that all the time, is to take complex understandings and break it down into chunks so that people understand really. I call it simplifying the complexity of modern living.
Yes. I was thinking something, but then it has gone away. Oh, I would like to talk about, because someone posted something, and you have this dragon side, and I see always in you, and but also uh, a part of you that is very loving and caring, and and I'm feeling like, since I have been following you from some time, that it's more, you are smiling much more, and you are much more lighter since this.
I agree. I think also, but I think the dragon's there because sometimes in the situations that I'm presented with, there needs to be a sense of, you can't mess with this fella. Do you know what I mean? So that I carry a serious message. And when I was out of control, this worked the wrong way round, And I know that about myself, that there's basically a ferocious beast in there, but it's changed now. It's upside down now for a better purpose. Let's put it that way, a better purpose. So rather than being destructive now, it's protective. And I feel that that loving, open side of me is more to do with the feminine aspects of me. It's linked to the Magdalene energy, right? And the mother energy. I know that. And all my life, I can see that I've been guided by the Magdalene energy. I can see that my, almost in a way, that the masculine side of me, that dragon energy, is more of a protector now of the gentle female or feminine, And that's where I'm up to now. I feel very balanced in that. And I just try and hang open. And when there's any situations of danger, I can feel it's in straight away, And in other times, I feel that real outpouring of compassion and love and forgiveness and stuff like that, So I think that my soul's purpose was to experience both sides of the equation so that I can have a full picture of what human life and its potential on both sides is about. How do you feel about that? What do you feel that that's reasonable?
No, absolutely. I feel the same, and for me, it was the contrary. I was so much of the feminine in the beginning, and when I was a kid, and if someone like if someone like you would be angry with me, I would burst in tears, and because it was all feminine, and then I have been bringing up this masculine side. And actually, I had an experience here with some dogs. They were fighting, and my husband, he was by my side, and he was afraid of going there, but we went to the dogs to split. And then I think it was some dragon energy inside me, because I jumped, and my voice changed, and I roared. Actually, I roared to the dogs, and they fall apart, and they ran away. And my husband was looking at me, what? Because it was really powerful, and it was very interesting to feel that. And because I felt like a savage animal roaring, really, yes.
And I think that a lot of light workers, this is just my understanding, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and that will change in the future. But I think that a lot of light workers have been afraid of the beast and the animal side that resides within all human beings, because I see human beings, we're both human on the one hand and divine on the other hand as well. And I think that a full integrated human being is able to integrate both of those aspects, you know. And I don't know whether you know what a centaur is, a centaur, but it's like it's the body of a lion, it's the body of an animal, and the sort of the head of a lion type thing. It's a sort of and a winged beast.
Yes.
And I get that vision quite often, really. And if you go back to like ancient Mesopotamia, you know, they have a lot of those winged serpents there. And because I was brought up in the good old Roman Catholic tradition, they were always considered to be evil.
Yes.
And I can see now that they're not. What is evil is the way that we misperceive things, because evil, if you like, is live back to front, isn't it? If you take the word, it's live back to front.
Yes.
So I think that sometimes we can take evil, look at it in a different way, and it becomes live or live. And I think that that's what Jesus, you know, Jesus said, you know, when you were being offended by anything, turn the other cheek. And to me, what that means is it not so that somebody can hit you on the other side of the face, but it was turn the other cheek, look in a different direction, and get a different perspective on the situation. That's what turning the other cheek means to me, you know, to see both sides of the equation.
Yeah, I'm totally agree with that, and I feel the same. Yeah, it's shifting your perspective and finding the gift in any situation that arises, because when you start, even if at the moment you are not able to see it, but after you go there again and you see it, there's always a gift in any. But right now, like me, something happens and I'm like, what? And then, oh, okay, I'm so grateful for this, and it's really fun. And then you become much more free in any situation.
Oh, no, I agree totally. And I think every trigger is a gift. And when you really, really, when you're not just saying that, but you really know that it's a growing experience. And when I say growing, to me, growing, it doesn't mean growing up. It means releasing more and more of the chains that we've been bound by, really. And every time that a chain releases, more power flows in. So this is empowerment. Our expansion, our consciousness expands more. So we see more of the big picture. And I think that that's what this journey towards being fully human is. Psychologists call this the journey towards self-actualization. You know, other people may call this self-mastery. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's just a case of expanding into more divine potential that works through the human being.
Yes. And actually, what I'm feeling right now is it's all about expansion and creation, always, always. So we are here, we are source, let's say God, whatever we may call it. We are this energy with these two expressions, and we are expanding and changing, exchanging information, and also everybody that is watching us is adding their energy too. And so it's really exciting, and for me right now, when once you start to, as you saw, having the, as you said, having the inner knowing about this, then you the joy expands a lot in your life, and every moment you can feel like I was inline skating and I fought, and then I have my leg all bruised, and I was on the floor, and I was like, okay, and then I I saw like I was a little bit outside of myself and seeing myself, and I was not suffering about the situation because I was not thinking about like oh, why this happened to me? Or no, I was just saying, oh, is everything okay? I have all the bones on the place. Okay, so I need ice, please. And I'm okay, and I'm happy about this because it showed me something that uh, my perspective, my look is much more different than it used to be before. It's and it's much more lighter and then I come back home and I was saying, "Oh, I fall from the inline skates," and I was laughing, and everybody was looking at me like, "Oh, are you crazy?" But everything becomes fun, in a sense. Even, I don't know.
I agree, and I like to do a lot of risk things as well. I do a lot of wild water swimming, and I do lots of running and all sorts of things. I've got a motorbike, and I go out and I just try and get out there and see what happens next. Really, with no expectations. I mean, obviously, I've got my work to do, my academic work and stuff, which bores me. I'm bored to death with it, to be honest with you. But I say to my heart, is it time? Is it time for me to let go of this yet? Right. And I get, no, because part of your job is to be academic so that you can take this message back into academia. Because lots and lots of my colleagues now are falling apart at the seams. They're having nervous breakdowns. They're totally exhausted with this virus situation and all that business. And I don't get too involved with all that, because one set of voices says that. It doesn't matter. If I'm being looked after by, if you like, the Holy Spirit, I only need to know what I need to know, right, on a need to know basis. So I will be provided with the information and prompted to take an action guided by my Holy Spirit. So I don't need to know what's going on in the world unless I get a push to go and have a look. And Anna, it's not that I'm not bothered, and it's not that I don't care, but just at the moment, I'm enjoying finding out more and more about more ways to let go of the bonds and the bondage of self, if you like, And I'm like you, and I fall over I make loads of mistakes and I don't care. I fall over a lot and I don't care, especially when I'm running too quickly for my age. And I've got bruises, I've got scars, I've got everything. And it just makes me laugh now. Now, a few years ago, I would have been moaning, oh, look, I've hurt my knee, like a little child, I've hurt my knee. Oh, mummy, please make it better, and all this sort of business. And now I just get up, brush myself off if it's not too bad, and then carry on. So I understand exactly what you're saying, really. So it's painful, but I'm not suffering from it.
Yeah, yeah, because suffering is our mind that creates. Uh, and if you are not already, if you are not anymore being ruled by your mind, you are in the heart. So your mind, and I was talking with this about this with a friend, and because and with so many friends, the mind is an awesome gadget and tool, and but we have been used by the mind instead of using the mind when we need the mind, and that is the freedom now. When once you understand with your inner sense, yes, then you start using the mind when you need to use the mind, and the other times you are just having fun, and maybe using mind for having fun also, so for creating, because yes, the mind is our creation gadget too, in a sense.
Oh yeah, perfectly. I mean, and think about creation is, it's actually something emerges that's not been seen like this before. Creation isn't taking somebody else's idea and building upon it. That's just like imitating. That's not creation, that's imitation. Creation is something that's brand new, something that just emerges from your unique self, and it doesn't have to be. It's the whole process of creation, isn't it, that brings joy.
Yeah.
And you don't need to create something that's useful. I think people get mixed up and they think they've got to create something that will save the planet or save themselves. I used to think like that, but I don't anymore. If I'm creating in a piece of music, it doesn't matter whether it's useless or hopeless or anything. If it makes me happy, then it's working for me. But strangely enough, in that creation, most people do seem to benefit from it, although that's not the primary purpose for creation. I don't know whether that makes sense, but it's just about opening your heart, dancing, talking in light language, speaking in light language, singing in light language, and shaking your bottom in a light language movement. If it makes you feel good, then people will feel, they'll be attracted to that positive vibration. That's not coming from your ego. It's coming directly from source, the source of unconditional love. And then soul to me means source of unconditional love. That's what the soul is to me.
Yes, 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 yes. Perfect. Yeah, I haven't heard you say that before. Yes, and I'm feeling the same. So when I felt like doing these conversations, that's the idea. That's why I don't have any subject. That's why I don't speak. I don't put a bio about the person that is, because it's just two human beings, and it's just we having fun and willing to be here and sharing and open to whoever wants to add comments and which I would like to say to everybody that is watching. Put your 2 cents. What do you feel, or what would you like us to speak about? And because that's the idea, is just we being here and having fun. And I really feel excited about these conversations, and that's what I why I am doing the conversations. About is the same about the dancing meditations, or and right now I feel like if I'm not having fun about something, then I'll first I say, if you want to do this, though, so start having fun about this, or else leave it. Because if we are doing something and we are not having fun, actually we are putting our energy of not having fun in that stuff you
Yeah,
are doing. Like if you are cooking and you are not having fun, you are putting all this stress and this, you are putting that energy, and that goes for everything that we do. And as you said, and people pick your tone, people pick the vibration you you had or you are having when you are doing something, and that is the best gift that I feel like I can bring around me right now. And as you say, it's not that I'm not concerned about. Uh, I'm not concerned about the world. I know things are coming to the light, as you
yeah,
said.
yeah,
Things have to come to surface to be seen, but all the suffering and all of conspiracies, all everything has been around and on the field of the planet during eons. It's not
yeah,
this last 100 years or last 2000 years, or it has been something. It has been the way that the consciousness has been expanding through all these situations, through all these what we could call should what you said we call evil or light or dark, or it's the duality game. And but ultimately all comes from the same source, which is creation, which is. And I was thinking, because I said we say and I say these days, and it's what I keep on hearing on my heart. Let's say it's like all is in divine perfection at every moment. Why? Because always everything is working for the best outcome for everybody, for the totality. And you may say, or someone may say, why should be for the best outcome? Because it has to be. It's the only way that this energy can keep on expanding, or else it will implode. If things will not be working always for the best outcome for everybody, it will be extinct, this source.
yeah,
So it's not that this source is a good one, or it's because it has to be this way. The way for expansion and creation is that every choice of every being is adjusted to all the choices of all the beings for the best outcome, for the expansion, for the creation, for the information to expand also. And yeah, I
I,
think.
I understand perfectly
Yes,
that the world as it is at the moment, for the purposes, for the higher purposes, is perfect. It
yes,
is perfect,
yes,
you know. And it's only the head gets in to say, but what about this? What about that? I think as you go further along this path, if there is such a thing as being further along the path, let's not get into that one, but
yeah,
different people are at different places on their soul's journey. This is the way I seem to understand it. What is a soul? Well, I am soul, as Todd Medina might say, I am soul, I am soul. That's my essential character, but the ego is the personality, and persona means mask. And I think that it's the job of the soul to uncover the masks and to come shining through from the depths and start to create more. So as each mask or filter of perception is dropped off, then the soul comes through, and then we expand, our awareness increases, so we get more of an idea of what it's all about and what we need to do next. I see that. How do you know you're on the right path? You just feel it, or I just feel it now. How do you know when you're off the path? Because I feel terrible. And generally speaking, is when I feel emotionally disturbed. I'm not talking about proper emotions now, like grief or compassion or that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about those that have been by the ego, because they're basically sentimental. And sentimental means feelings that are made up in the mind. So they're false. and and lots of people who aren't in touch with their real feelings. How do I know? Because this is what I was like for a long time. I used to be in this situation thinking, hang on, I better look like I'm happy here. Hello, lovely to see you, And when those people went, I'd be back to being miserable again. So I was making up my feelings from my mind because I was blocked off from my authentic feelings from my heart. And I didn't know that. I didn't know. You know, I was only acting on the information I had at the time. And I can see, like you said before, is maybe that's what I signed up for, was to be without feelings and to try and make them up, and to realize that that was all inauthentic and false. And then it was to let go of the false, to turn inwards and ask my real self, will you show me who I really am, please? Right. And that's when the journey of awakening starts. That's when the chink of light goes in and all these other real feelings start to come.
yes.
That was a bit deep, that was a bit heavy, but there you go. And I think enlightenment is nothing more than when you feel a bit lighter in yourself because you've got more vitality, you're more spiritualized, and you're more expressive. I think that that's what enlightenment is. I used to think it was sitting in a double lotus position in complete peace and quiet, but I've realized, or maybe it is, maybe I just don't know yet. But I think is, if you're okay with yourself, then you're generally okay with other people, and that's it, really.
Yes, because as Rebecca is the person I spoke that you are referring. We are igniting the other person. We are ignited. We are joyful. We are yes, with light. Let's say shining here really strong. So that's it's from that word maybe has come getting enlightened, but we can use so much words, but actually what identifies is the feeling, is that joy, is that expansion, and that light in the eyes, because we can see in the eyes of the person when someone is really flowing and excited and joyful. You cannot fake. That's true. What you said. The other emotions, or uh, you can be smiling, but if you are not feeling, your eyes they show something different. And
Well,
yes,
they say, don't they, that the eyes are the windows of the soul, don't they?
yes,
That's an expression. And
yes,
I agree with that. And, as you say, you become more perceptive, really, don't you, about picking up auras and senses and feelings and watching and stuff like that. I tend to do it when we were all working together. One of my colleagues would come in and I'd say, "How are you?" And they'd say, "Fine, thanks." And then I'd say, "How are you really?" And then they just burst into tears. Then, oh God. And it's all right, it's all right to get them to express the emotion, even if they're angry. Let it out, let it out, let it out. Because to me, anger is just blocked love, you know, and negative feelings are just blocked love. And I think that the other thing is that the love doesn't come from us, it comes through us. That's my feeling. It comes from deep, deep, deep from the cosmos. It comes in through spirit, through soul, and out through our bodies. And I think that that's the difference between where I was for a long time. Is I used to take drink and all sorts of other substances, and it would give me a glimpse of the cosmos, but it was like a fantasy trip. And I can see now that I got an idea of what it was like. I live a totally clean, well, as far as I can, a clean life now. I try and ingest clean food. I try and have clean thoughts most of the time, but that doesn't work. But I'm getting better all the
what
I'm
is
trying to get
clean
better.
thoughts?
Yeah,
What is clean thoughts?
yeah. I haven't become a saint yet, because there's a bit more work to be done. But I think I've lost me. I've lost my train of thought. That must have been a lie, right? But yeah, I think now I try now and bring what I've already glimpsed through chemical substances. Let's put it that way. I've seen what's possible, and I got turned round on the point of my death because I tried to kill myself and everything, and I was almost off, and it was almost at the gates. Something said to me, "Turn round now, son. You signed up for this, right? You will be a teacher." And this is what was said to me in a very clear way. You signed up to experience all this so you could share your experience, your strength, and your hope with other people, in that they can help themselves to get better as well and make the world a better place. And I know that that's why I'm here, you know, is to find joy and allow that joy to attract others. And then hopefully they'll say, "Well, how do you do it?" And I'll say, "Well, this is how I do it. This is how you get back in touch with your heart." And then if they ask me, "Well, what do we do next?" I'll say, "Don't be asking me now.
Yes.
The answer's in there. Go and ask your heart." And then they say, "What do you mean, ask me heart?" And I'll say, "Come back in a few weeks where I'll tell you."
Yes. Me too. I try to kill myself, and yes, some kind of voice also came to me and said, "Why are you?" I'm not usually. I don't use these words, but why are you shitting yourself about this stuff when the only thing that exists is love, but not the love, the attachment.
Yeah,
No, the pure love, the pure source love, what we call love, that that vibration. And yes, so I feel the same, and I feel you were saying like you feel that you still have to be on the place you are in academic life, and I feel that uh, wherever we are doing the work, let's say.
yeah,
uh, you can be cleaning the road, and you will be doing the work if you are enjoy, if you are seeing the abundance around you, if you are with your centered in your heart. So doesn't matter actually what we are doing. We can be we have to find that balance and that joy in whatever we are doing at that moment. And by that point, we are changing the collective. For let's say changing, we are expanding the collective. We are bringing that tone to the place where we are. So if you are working in a shop, you can do that. If you are whatever you are doing, if you are cooking, if you are just walking, but you are
Yeah.
looking for the people around you and you feel that love for those people, and you feel that and you see that being as a perfect being that is walking their path. And when we honor, that's what I'm being called to do now, is honor whatever people want to share, whatever people want to express. I hold the space, I honor, I try not to create thoughts about if they should be doing this or they shouldn't, and just seeing that they are a being, a light being, expressing what they are needing to express right now, but not taking sides either. So yes, as you say, being finding my joy, focusing in what brings me that joy, and also close connection with the planet, with Gaia. That's what I'm, because I'm really a Gaia being. I'm really a Gaia being, and also opening to all the beings that may be assisting us, all the beings from other realms, from other galaxies. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing actually, but I sometimes I feel like doing, so I do, and that is, yes, that's what I'm trying to do. And like yesterday, I posted a video. Then there are these thoughts that came to me, like, "Oh, people will see this and they will say I'm crazy," or, and I say I don't care because it was fun and I felt like doing that. And yeah, that's why I'm sharing too, because I feel that we are being called now, as you said, to take the masks. And if you like to wave, why not? If you like to dance, if you like to hug people, I don't know, whatever. And yeah.
I'm the same. There's a word, it's called extemporaneous, right? And what that means is, it means to live life without a script. There's no script. You write the script as you're moving along. So just go with what you feel, and that's what I tend to do. And people think I'm crazy. I mean, they're frightened of me in academia, in universities, and, because I've got no idea what's going to come out next myself. I've just got this trust and this faith that it will be for a purpose. There will be a purpose that my ego doesn't necessarily have to understand, because it's definitely not about logic, and it will seem irrational and illogical. But one person in that room, it might turn them round from something desperate, and it might just trigger them in a positive way, if there's such a thing. So I agree with you, and I love dancing. I put my music on when my wife's gone to work. I'll put the music on, and I'll be giving it and loads of that. And because I also like Tai Chi as well, and I think that you can do Tai Chi, and you can actually feel, well, I feel the energies moving when I'm doing Tai Chi. And also when I'm actually working on people, I can actually feel the energy. So I'm able to sense where there's no energy and where there's too much energy. And then I can help to smooth it out in their auras, right? And then that gives them an even temperament then, and stuff like that. And I think that that's what sacred neutrality is, or the 0 point. It's not that there's nothing in there. It's it's full of nothingness, which is full of everythingness at the same time. And I know that you know what I mean by that. So when you're in that breathing, and when you breathe all the way in and then you stop for 2 seconds, that's a time when the cosmos fills itself. It fills you, because there's a slight pause, and it's in the gap between breaths that all the answers are, And I say these things, and I think there's part of me thinking that was good. You should have recorded this. You'll have to write that down, But somebody told me once, if it's the truth, it will return. It will just keep returning. So we don't even have to rely on memory now or anything like that. We just, if I had to rely on memory, I wouldn't have a job anymore because I can't remember a single thing. I sometimes go to the computer. Yeah, I go to the computer and I think, what am I doing here? And then I have to wait, and I just say to my heart, give us a clue, give us a clue.
Yes, yes. Yeah. How do you feel about some dancing right now?
Sometimes I don't mind. I can dance.
No,
Right.
maybe I don't know if I can put some music on my phone. I'll try. We had Chrissy Cook saying hello, beautiful one. I love you, Anna. Thank you, Chrissy, and also Nuno Miguel Moraes, Dália Camões, Tim Smith, Sasha, David Pedro, Linda.
Miyazi
Yes,
Tanik. Hello, Miyazi.
yes. And yeah, I'm so grateful for all joining here. I don't know if you want, I'll give you the mic, and then maybe if I find some music, I'll put and we can end dancing. What do you feel about?
No problem. Sounds good to me. Sounds good.
And also you can do something that comes out, some vocals or me, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'll
See,
give you the mic so you, and I'm very grateful for all that joined us and joyful and yes, we are loved together. Yes, we are loved together. Joe.
I've got the mic. So okay. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'll just see what comes out. But what I've learned is I was very, very ill, and I was diseased. I was full of dis-ease and ill at ease with myself, only because my heart was blocked. And my heart was blocked because it wasn't allowing my soul's expression to come forward. And there's many, many reasons for that, I see, because of the way I was brought up. I was brought up in a very fearful environment. So my big thing today is if I feel any fear trying to come in, I take a step back. I ask my heart and soul, please give me the courage to go through this. And rather than going around the fences now, I ask for the power to jump over the fence, and then I can gallop off then until the next fence arrives, you know. So that's where I'm up to. My life's like a steeplechase, you know, and it's all full of ups and downs. But generally speaking, I'm okay with me today. And that's all I have to be, because I never, ever, ever was okay with me. And as a consequence, I tried to please other people. I tried to take other people prisoners. And all I ever wanted them to say was, you're okay, you. But that never worked. I have to come to a point where I can honestly say, Joe, you're okay, son. Carry on and do some more dancing. So that's where I'm up to. How do you do, son?
So I'll put some music
Have
here.
you found any music yet over there in Lisboa in Portugal?
No, it's not. Ah, do you want Portuguese music? I have one Portuguese music.
I love Portugal. I've been there a couple of times.
Oh,
Valley de Lobo, Quinta do Lago. I've played golf there, you know, and I love Portugal. Albufeira, been there, you know, Corteira, all those sorts of places. I was locked up. I don't know whether your customers want to hear this, but I was locked up overnight in a Portuguese jail for being
wow.
drunk and disorderly. That was many, many years ago. So yes,
Yes.
I've been imprisoned in Portugal.
Wow.
But they were all very nice to me, you know, they were very nice.
Yes. I'm in Alentejo. It's south, but it's not in Algarve. It's in the center south of Portugal. It's a very calm area. Very and this music that I'm gonna put, it's from Madre Deus, is a Portuguese group that and I love they very much, and I love to sing. So oh, maybe this one I'll put some. Let's see if you can hear it.
I'm limbering up now.
It's called guitarra. So grateful, Joel. I loved it.
Very, very good.
Yes,
I'm all hot now. I'm bothered.
yes. So I hope we can do this more if you feel the call. I so enjoyed very much to be with you and with all joining us. Yes.
Me too. And I feel the love pouring from you. I really do. I can feel that. And it pours from your eyes and I can feel it coming from your heart. You're a lovely person, Anna. You're a lovely person.
And you too,
So,
Joel.
well,
Yes.
plenty of work to be done, but you know, we're getting
Me
there, aren't we?
too.
We're getting there.
We are
Yeah.
all perfect, and at the same time, we are always working, and it never ends. It never ends because
No.
the universe is always expanding in a sense, so we are that energy. So the work is always coming, new work.
And what I like is I know that God needs us just as much as we need God.
Yes.
You know, because this is a collaboration, isn't it?
Yes.
Because as we expand, it expands as well.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and I think that we've only just started, really.
Yeah.
So there you are, and thanks very much for inviting me. I've enjoyed myself. I'll never be able to work in a university again, but you know, that's okay.
Yeah, stay well. Have a lovely evening and day. And yes, we meet soon. In Portugal, we say até já. See you
Até
soon.
já.
Até já.
Obrigado.
And até
Obrigado.
já. Obrigado. E até já. And see you soon, all joining us. Much love.
Same to you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.